Hi, my name is Anthony. I run a sales and marketing company in San Diego. Before the business, I was actually in engineering. I was an engineer for about 6.5, almost 7 years. I worked for a company called Nokia. I was basically a field test engineer for them. It was great. I kind of moved all my way up to basically be like a lead. So I had a huge team that I would have to manage, things like that. And it was great. Salary was great, but I felt like I was kind of stuck in the same corporate America world. And I was like, well, if I want to get ahead, I need to go find something else. I was cheap. I used Craigslist. That's how I found the ad. Never studied marketing, never done any type of sales before. And I came in for the interview and it sounded really good. I came in and I was like, wait, this is commission and oh, this is door to door. And never done sales before, never done anything like that before. And I saw the opportunity to advance. So I was like, well, why not give it a shot? So I started and, the rest is history. Having kids at the time, my wife, and I had a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. Leaving salary to do commission only door to door, it was a shock. My mom was like, "You should think about it. You shouldn't do it. You have a family to think about. What if you don't get any sales?" And I told myself, I'd give myself 6 months, and I always had in the back of my mind that I can go back to engineering if I wanted to, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do long term. I thought it sounded good to be a business owner and to run your own business. It was also really hard, right? With family, outside negatives, things like that too. It's a good question. It's funny because I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I actually tried quitting. I had my stuff, my tablet, and everything in hand. I went to his office. It was really tough with outside, influences. My wife, my mortgage, my kids. I don't really see them. I had no one on my team. And then he instead of saying, okay, well, hey, I appreciate your time and that's it. He actually spent probably about 45 minutes to an hour. We kind of just sat and talked, just about life in general, not even the business at all. It was more so like what I wanted long term and, and like, why do you think I was struggling so much and the whole 9 yards. And he really took the time, and which is for me crazy because I've been in corporate America for all these years and I had never had like a supervisor or someone really actually care. It was like genuine, like he wanted to see me successful. And he said, Anthony, like you're trying to learn how to run a business in a year's time. Like, have you done anything like this before? Have you coached people before in sales? He's like, well, no. He's like, okay, well, have you coached people, to work leads and all that stuff and sales and pitches and objections? Like, well, no. He's like, Anthony, you're probably, he's like, I know you're an athlete. In anything that you've done in life, I think you're really naturally gifted at it. I was like, okay, it makes sense. But then he's also said, well, this is the first time in your life you're getting challenged and you're gonna run away. So for me, it was like, well, okay, what do I do? He's like, well, I appreciate you coming in and talk to me because this is, important for yourself and for us. And he was like, are you really following the systems? Are you really doing everything we're telling you to do? Are you doing the 8-5-4, a lot of averages? He's like, hey, give it a week. You got to go and trust our systems. If you trust everything that we're telling you to do and you do it to the T and it still doesn't work out, then at least you tried. The worst thing you can do, Anthony, is leave the business and say, what if? Play that what if game. And it was really tough for me. I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So I was like, all right, what's 1 week? On that next Monday, I literally followed the systems to the T, and then I put 2 people on my team. At the end of the week, I was like, you're right. I was kind of in my own way. So he really helped me out on that whole platform. And I think that was a turning point because that's when I think that was the biggest turnaround. Having him take that time to really sit me down and actually talk to me like a human being and, actually go over my goals, what I want. I think it was a really turning point in my career. I think it's just more so like the drive factor, right? Called the 3Ds, right? Desire, drive, and determination. If someone has the desire to want to change their life, I think that's huge for me. Engineering was great, but I was like kind of living that rat race with everybody else, and that desire to get out of that was pretty on fire. The drive was my family and my wife, my 2 kids at the time. I just wanted to be the dad that's there at their practices. I could pick them up from school. I wanted to be there because, growing up, my parents always worked. I played sports my entire life and they didn't go to barely any games because they were always working. So I think that was a driving force to really want to be successful because I wanted more time with my kids. So fast forward today, I'm coaching my kids' football team. My daughter's in gymnastics and dance and all that stuff too. My little one's 4 and crazy, but to like be home with them for dinner and stuff like that, it's really cool. And drive basically is just be financially free. I don't come from a rich family or anything like that. I came from like little, low to middle income class, but we couldn't do things that we wanted to do. So I was like, well, I looked at my family tree. No offense to my brothers and sisters, but I'm the oldest. And I said, well, if I want to change, the family tree, I don't mind putting that pressure on me to do so. I don't mind working hard, the long hours. I can take it. So I was like, all right, well, if I can do it. A lot actually. Throughout COVID, been a lot of my siblings who lost their job. I was able to actually employ them. To be able to actually help family out that way was really cool. My wife, having her be on payroll, it's really cool as well. Help out family whenever they need it. It's a blessing. Having be that go-to person now for family and friends, seeing my life turn around in the last 7 years of kind of doing what I was doing as an engineer to now, it's a complete turnaround. So complete 180 for sure. Yeah. Next goal for me is to be a mentor, a coach to the people that need it. I'm just here because I answer to ad just like everybody else, and people just need to be able to believe in themselves and believe. And sometimes we need someone to say, "Hey, you got this." You instill that confidence to people the best. So.